Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're a returning sub, welcome back. Today I have an interesting tea spilling. In today's video, I've been wanting to do a stories with Tori's kind of playlist theme video segment on my channel for a while now, and I thought this would be the perfect video to start off the stories with Tori's. I was just gonna tell random stories. If you guys have any like story suggestions, ideas, requests, is that a thing? Like, oh, tell us a story that has to do with blank, and I probably have a story on it. If you know me personally, you know I suck at telling stories, so we'll see how this goes. This is probably gonna be a long video, so grab your Starbucks, grab your tea, grab your popcorn, grab your food. Just run this video so I get watch hours, and let's go. Today's story is about the time that I almost got arrested. Sorry, Mom, when you watch this. So back October 4th of 2019, I came up to UCF to visit a friend and to kind of tour the campus and see it. I had such a good day. I got to like experience some of the college life. I got to drive around and see the town. And I absolutely fell in love with like the school, Orlando, the idea of being away at college. And I was so excited to move here. I had one of the best days, honestly, in a really long time at the time. I ended up staying up here until 7:30-ish, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. On my drive home, I was about 10 minutes from my house, all the way from Orlando, and I stopped at this stop sign. I thought I saw a car coming, so I like stopped again. I swear to God, I stopped. I know I stopped. Driving down the road, kind of maybe going a little faster than I should, jamming to my music. Couldn't wait to get home, just go to bed. And I see blue and red lights behind me, and I have never been pulled over a day in my life, and here I am, I'm getting pulled over. So I slowed down, and the way the road is, it's like a one-way, so I had to like almost pull, like I pulled on the side. I was still kind of in the road, and I sat there and I panicked. I literally was like, okay, what do I do? Like, what's gonna happen? Was I speeding? Like, what was the issue? And the officer comes up and he said, do you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, no, sir. And he said, you didn't stop at the stop sign. And I just sat there like, holding back my tears. I literally didn't say anything. I didn't know if I should be like, I thought I did, or are you sure? Or I had no idea how to talk to a police officer. So I was just like, now what? He said, can I see your license and registration? I said, yes, sir, of course. And I handed him my license, and I was looking for my registration, and I said, this is the first time I've been pulled over. I have my registration, I just gotta find it. And he said, don't worry about it, I'll run it with your license. If this is really your car, then it'll show up on your license. And I said, this is my car, thank you, I pay it monthly. I actually like am an adult. And so then he walked away, and I was just like so panic mode. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I still wasn't crying though, which is shocking because I'm very emotional. And if you know me, you know I'm very, very emotional. Anyways, he comes back like a million years later, what felt like, but it was probably like 10 minutes. He said that I rolled right through the stop sign and I didn't stop. Again, I did not know how to say, yeah, I did. So he handed me a piece of paper and said, here, don't let it ruin your weekend, because it was the weekend. He said, be more mindful, or something similar to that. And I was like, okay. And then I started crying. And so I'm crying like super hard, and then I put my blinker on to like get back in the road, and my window is still down, and he was like, you can go. And I was like, I put my hand out, I was like, thanks. And then I drove home, and on the like last 7 minutes of my drive, I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, I just got pulled over. And I really didn't start crying until I called my dad, because I was super nervous on what he was gonna say. So anyways, I'm on the phone with my dad, and he was like, well, how much is the ticket for? And I was like, I don't know, I didn't even look at it. I don't even know what a ticket looked like. I thought it was like a skinny tiny paper, but it was like, I don't know, it was just so much, too much at once. And so then I got into my driveway. My dad lived in Tampa at the time, and I go over to the passenger side seat to look at the ticket, and I'm looking at it, and my dad's like connected through my car on the phone, and all of a sudden I hear bang, and I was like freaking out, and all of a sudden the garage door was in my face. I drove into the garage door. I started crying even more, and my dad was like, what was that? And I said, I just ran into the garage door. And he was like, you did what? And I said, I ran into the garage door, oh my god. And like, I remember though before that looking to the left of me, like in my peripheral, and I saw my sister's husband's car move, and I said, there's no one in that. And then boom, I was the one moving, not his car. So yeah, go me, got a ticket and hit the garage door. So my dad was like, calm down, like let's look at the ticket, put your car in park, which I swore I did, but I was so like, I wanted to see the ticket so bad that I didn't. The ticket was for $170 for not stopping at a stop sign. I told him and he was like, that's fine, like you just have to pay it. He said, and it's too late to look at the garage door because it was dark out. He said, we'll look at it tomorrow. I'll come home tomorrow, we'll look at it, but we're gonna have to get it fixed. And I was like, ticket, garage door, my life. So that happened and I was so stressed out. I left a huge dent in the garage door. Insert picture of me crying, insert picture of me crying on the floor, insert picture of garage door. Was not great at all. The garage door was pretty messed up. It's October and I had to pay the ticket, and in October my family has a huge Halloween party. We do like all these events and stuff, so I was so worried about like Halloween Horror Nights and our Halloween party, Rocky Horror, and like Halloween and all this stuff, while still trying to finish my last semester of college. So then I was also worried about college, and I went to pay my ticket. I paid for my ticket like November something, but it was before like the 30-day mark, and I was like, okay, cool, fine, like paid my first ticket, learned my lesson. I did that. I moved to Orlando, I started school here, whatever. I started getting my mail forwarded here because we moved out of my home. So back in about like February time, I got a letter in the mail, and I told my roommate that I thought I ran a red light and I thought I got a red light ticket, and I was like, I cannot afford another ticket right now. This is so bad. And I got it in the mail. I looked at it. It looked like it was like something about my registration, but my dad takes care of all of that. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll show him next time I see him. Didn't think anything of it. Put it on the side door in my car, and that was the end of it. I was cleaning the car with my mom, and she was cleaning her car because she was about to go get a new car, and I was like, you know what, my car could use a clean. I was having so much fun. I even told her, I was like, wow, this is so cool, like we're bonding, this is so much fun. And she was like, yeah, ha ha ha. And then everything changed because I found that letter, and I was like, Mom, I got this letter a long time ago. I meant to show Dad. I think it's about my registration. I don't know what it's about. Can you look at it? Like, Dad never looked at it. And it said on the letter that your license is being suspended as of March 2nd, 2020. The letter was dated February 11th. I was like, what does this mean? And it said indefinitely on March 2nd. And so I was like, what does this mean? I started freaking out, and my mom was like, your license has been suspended for 3 months. And I was like, me who got a stop sign ticket? Me? No. And I read it over and I was like, holy, if I would have just read this letter rather than just being like, oh, I'm too lazy to read this, I'll just give it to Dad, I would have known that my license was suspended. So I was driving on a suspended license for 3 months without knowing. I was so scared. I started bawling my eyes out. I was supposed to go back home to Orlando that night, and my mom's like, you're not driving anywhere, you can't go anywhere, you're lucky you never got pulled over, you're lucky you didn't get in an accident. And like, honestly, I really am, like, all jokes aside, that is literally terrifying. And in the moment when I read that letter, I called my cousin who's a cop, and I was like, what's gonna happen to me? I thought I was gonna have to go to court, I thought I was gonna get arrested. And he said, no, just don't drive anymore. He was like, it could take a week to get back or whatever. So I thought I was gonna be stuck in my hometown, and I was like, oh, I just need to get back to Orlando. Thank God I didn't have a job or anything, but I did miss a job interview because I couldn't drive. They wanted to do the interview the next day, and I had to stay home and pay the ticket because I thought I may have to go to the court. So that night, I'm like Googling, I'm texting all my friends who I know who have gotten like a traffic light ticket, and I'm like, has this ever happened to you? What's gonna happen to me? But my one friend was like, well, did you do the school? And I was like, no, I was too worried about graduating and moving to Orlando. Like, I didn't have time to do the school. He was like, well, whenever you paid your ticket, you probably elected in taking the classes and you never did, so they suspended your license. that is exactly what happened. And I was going to take the school that night and call the court of clerk's office the next day and just be like, I just took the classes, like, you know, am I okay? Like, what's gonna happen? What do I do? So I started doing more research and I went online to see the status of my license because I didn't know, but you can do that. And it said suspended. I was like, great, it really is suspended. I knew though, if I was to drive with my license suspended, now that I had full knowledge of it being suspended, I was like, I'm gonna get pulled over, like it's gonna be just my luck. That is an arrest, and that is how I probably would have almost gotten arrested. All in all, I called the next morning and they were like saying how I just have to pay this fine. I was like, okay, well, how long does it take to process? Like, when will I get my license back? I called her at 8 and she said that I would be like back at 9. I would get an email confirming that I got my license back, and I said, okay, that's like amazing, that's great, thank you so much. Gave her my card. I kept waiting, checking my email. I hadn't gotten anything. It was like 10:30 and I was like, why haven't I gotten anything? I got a call from the court of clerk and they said, your card got declined. And I said, there's no way. Why? And they said the zip code was wrong. And I was like, no, like I promise you I gave you the right zip code. I called her back and she was like, yeah, your other card got declined. I said, okay, yeah, I know why now. Like, I'm giving you the wrong zip code. I didn't know the banks automatically change it. She said, okay. So then she took the money back out of the first card. So really they took $300, over $300 out of my bank because it like already came out, and she said it takes like 3 to 5 days to get back in your account. So I was almost $500 in the hole from this stupid stop sign ticket. Finally got it taken care of, and about 11:30, 11:45, I got my license back. Yeah! But really altogether, the stop sign cost me about $300, which is stupid, and I definitely learned my lesson. That was the time that I could have gotten arrested. Although this was no Tana Mojo story time or juicy story time, thank you guys for tuning in. I definitely will be posting more stories in the future. I have plenty of them, trust me. You know the story, it's Tori, stories with Tories. I don't know what I'm gonna name this, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you fell for the clickbait, give this video a thumbs up. If you watched it all the way through this like 15 plus minutes, give it a thumbs up. If you are not following me on all my social medias, make sure you do so. Like I always say, I'm super active on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter's a mess, but so am I, so. If you guys also have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload, because I do not have a set date and I do not upload consistently, but we are working on it. It's honestly the editing that takes the longest, so I'm trying to find time, manage my time better so I can edit. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning into Stories with Tories, as corny as that is, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!